Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Now we are rebuilding the hospital today, but you might notice we are at the Spencer Kim Lewis household. That is because you cannot simply travel to the lot using the world map or the travel option on your phone. You have to get to the hospital lot. Well, the easiest, quickest ways would be to either join the travel along doctor career or get pregnant, go into labor, and travel with your sim that way. I think you can go to the hospital if you're sick too, but you can't really control that. So I thought we'd jump over to this household since none of the adults have jobs, grab Alice, put her in the doctor career, and then travel to work with her to get to the lot, basically. So anyway, if you have get to work, you can do any of these three sort of play along careers: detective, doctor, or scientist. They all have their own lot. I asked you guys which one you wanted to see rebuilt though, and y'all picked the hospital, which we can travel to using the doctor career. So now we can see here that we have work in 19 hours. Enable follow messages is on, so when she goes to work, we will get to travel along with her. I will see you then. I figured we'd do it this way also because that way, once we've built the lot, we'll already be there for work, so we can just test and make sure everything works. So once you're at the hospital lot, I know everything up here is grayed out, but that's fine. We can build here. All you have to do is open your cheat bar, Control-Shift-C, or all four triggers on console, and type bb.enable free build. You'll get that little confirmation message that free build mode is enabled, and now we can actually build. But first, let's take a quick look at the lot, see what we want to keep, see what we want to change. Now this is a rebuild video, so overall I'll be keeping a lot of the shape of the hospital and I'll only be using base game and get to work. The main things I want to change though are I want to make the overall hospital floor plan a lot easier to sort of move around in so that your sims can get their work done more quickly. And for the landscaping, I'd like to bring in a little bit more grass. Now unlike most lot types, this doesn't actually come with the requirements. However, there are a few lists online that you can look up, which I will link in the video description down below, just to give you guys a more convenient reference if you want to rebuild this as well. Anyway, with all that being said, let's bulldoze and get building. I'm starting, of course, with the reception area, and then just behind this, I want to try and spread bathrooms around as well. So I have a little bathroom and then a stairway going upstairs to where I'm going to put one of the larger sort of staff rest areas. And I am going to do a pretty decent sized waiting room. Now, one thing I noticed when I was playtesting the pre-build was all the sims who needed medical care would sort of conglomerate around the desk and wouldn't actually go into the waiting room, I suspect because there was a wall there. So I'm going to remove the wall and have it just be one open space, and hopefully that will spread out the sims waiting for care a little bit more, because they won't just sort of be confined to the one room. Now originally there are 2 beds per room. I did it with just 1 bed per room, which worked fine. However, I think I'm going to split it up a little bit more and have a 1 bedroom, then a longer room with 2 beds, and then with 1 bed, just to make sure that we have enough patients to meet all of the goals. At the end of the hall here, I'm going to do another half bath, and at the back of the build, we need spaces to have medical treadmills and things like that, so I'm going to add a room for that back here with a hallway. We'll also have a hallway here, and then this room right in the middle will be for the x-ray machines. I feel like that's safe. And then in this direction, we'll have sort of the 2 labor and delivery rooms, which means extending this hall the rest of the way down, and you guessed it, another half bath. I'm going to add a small hallway here, and then the rest of this space will be for the chemical analyzer machines. I think that's what they're called. I'm going to add a couple of outdoor areas here, which I doubt your sims will actually use, but it'll still be nice. Next up, grab some stairs, just swing this around so that I can place it here, and then just this will become sort of a staff area. I'll have a bathroom with a shower here in case your sim needs that. A little gym area, since I believe they do have some gym related activities. Put a little kitchenette in this area, and some dining tables. And there's our pretty basic hospital shell. Now I did say I wanted to use platforms, and here's how. I'm going to make a couple of window boxes up front here, and then actually use platforms for the roof of the hospital, which was not an option when the game originally released because there weren't platforms yet. I'll also add a little piece of floor here under this covered area. This will be like the carport, basically. Pull up and drop off your laboring spouse, if the sims had cars, but whatever. I'm going to move the lot to be more in the middle. And there are so many windows on the original, I can't even tell what original material was. I think they used this stone though, the country field stone. So I guess we'll start with that. Also, here's a tip for coloring the sides of platforms. If it works within your style to have a tiny bit of sort of a ridge at the top, you can use the very short half walls. The barely there half wall, basically the first one, is for the initial platform height, and then every time you make the platform a little bit taller, you just go up 1 half wall size. So this one is basically 2 levels of platform, so I'll use the second half wall. And basically what that allows you to do is use the exact same paint all the way up to the top of the build. like that. Or if you don't want to do that, you could of course always use the platform trims and just find one that works. I will also be using some of the inlaid exterior trim to polish up some of these edges. And if you ever want the trim to only be on a certain section of the floor, you can just draw a little room like this, apply the trim, and then remove those walls again. Now, I don't think I want my whole hospital to be stone, so I am going to mix it up with some plaster, I think, or some stucco. Now that that's about where I want it, we can go through and add some windows. Now, Sims can't actually see through windows, so it really doesn't matter what you use, but if you want to keep the privacy aspect, Get to Work actually came with some windows that only show basically through one side, so the dual tinted window or the privacy glass. You can see a little better if I go inside, but this way you can see the grass, and if I rotate it, you can't. There is also a matching door, and I don't think I want to go quite as window crazy as the hospital originally was. I'd like to see some of the walls, plus that's just a lot of glass to clean. But I'll keep the privacy glass going into any areas sort of where the patients are. But I don't see any issues anyway with adding a couple of large, fully see-throughable windows to the waiting room. Alright, now the last thing I want to do is add some skylights, which I'm going to do by grabbing my platform tool and then drawing some platforms. I know making the roof thicker seems counterintuitive, but if I delete these, we're left with just the ceiling of the room below, and then I can stick my hipped roof pieces right into those little gaps, pitch it all the way down, then grab the glass roof texture, and now we have some skylights. Now over on this side, if I want to do the same thing, I don't even have to put glass here because it's going straight to a little balcony area, but I can still put a skylight in the middle one, like that. I don't think I need to put one into the x-ray room, but putting a little skylight into the hallway could be a nice way to get some sunlight deeper into the hospital, because I do care about my nurses' health, and doctors and surgeons and whatever other branches you can promote into, I don't remember. I meant to look up some fun hospital facts to share with everybody, because I just feel weird like not sharing fun facts while I build. It's a strange feeling, but I forgot, so we're just building and I just have to talk about what I'm building instead. Alright, now that I'm pretty satisfied with the exterior sort of shell part of the hospital, I think we should move on to the terrain and finish up the landscaping before we move inside. So I'm going to start with just a little bit of terrain paint and actually do like a driveway sort of thing. I know Sims can't drive, but I think it'll look cool. And then I can flatten starting here. And by putting the terrain paint down, that helps me see where the elevation is so that I can more appropriately start smoothing out my little path. I don't feel like I need to add a parking lot because there's parking over here, but just a nice little pull around driveway I think would be good. So start with that. And I think we should also add a duck pond, something for the patients to look at. So I'm going to start by lowering the terrain, and then I can grab the flatten terrain tool to get a better shape and start adding water. So that's nice, just a little pond for some ducks. We can landscape according to the world. We have some willow trees, so I might put a couple of those over on this side. We also have a lot of these trees, sort of along flower boxes and things, and whatever this one's called. Let's see. Graveyard, cypress trees, and European beech tree. Going to put some more trees around. And then up here in these little flower boxes, I just grabbed some of the sort of like dirt floor texture. And I'm going to start with some of these squares as sort of a base. And then I'd like to stack some other flowers on top of it with these little guys. Now I don't currently have move objects turned on, but there are plants that you can stack without turning on move objects, which is nice. We will end up turning on move objects when we move inside though, because for whatever reason I can't place very many things against these walls due to being up next to platforms. I don't understand, but that's the way the game decided to rule those decisions. I'm going to take these same plants to place here. We could also grab the hospital sign. Guess we should pick a swatch that sort of matches our color scheme, which is pretty much just gray. Then we can add a few more plants around here, but I think that'll be about it. Oh, and some rocks, obviously. We always need rocks. Personally, I like the exposed grass a lot better than all of that concrete, but I guess you guys can let me know what you think in the comments down below. Now, of course, I have to go through and do some terrain paint under all of this. Oh, and I learned on TikTok that these little paths that you see everywhere that are just dirt, that aren't like actually supposed to be there, are called desire paths because people desire to walk there even though there's no path. I think that's interesting. And we can't forget the ducks. I think if we do mallard ducks and Mr. Ducksworth, that should be enough ducks. Also, yes, the child is here to help. Now, at some point, our stairs decided to run away and leave us, so I have to replace those. Looks like everything's still intact. Alright. So, now we can discuss how to do the inside of a hospital. We could either go for super duper sterile or something more warm and inviting, and it seems like the original was kind of a mix of both, with pretty bland walls, but not just plain old gray linoleum floor. So I'm going to say we should use some wood that looks like linoleum, easy to clean that way, but warms up the space. And then honestly for walls, we'll probably stick with a pretty sterile environment, no crazy colors, and some pretty basic tile for the bathroom spaces. Now, of course, we can go through and add some more color as we go, but I'm going to start with this. Oh, and clinical panels. I'm not 100% sure what the intended use of this is, but I feel like we should put it in the X-ray room. That feels right. Now for doors, I would love to have one with just like one very small window in it, but we don't have any in these packs. I'm thinking like something like this from Tiny Living or the High School Years door. So I think I'm just going to stick with some plain wooden doors. Now I think we're ready to talk about how to actually furnish the hospital. And if you go here, we do have medical clinic items. However, this doesn't actually include all of the items you need for your hospital. In order to find all of the items you need, such as the surgery table to give birth on and all of that stuff, you'll have to do Control-Shift-C and bb.show hidden objects and bb.show live edit objects, and I'll find out in a second here if I typed those correctly or not. But now if we go into show all, we should now have, there it is, the surgery table. So it's advised that we have at least 2 of these, which I'm going to place in the middle of these rooms, which should hopefully give it plenty of space to be operated, but again, we'll play test everything. We can also grab the hospital reception desk, the nice pink heart on it to match our sign. Other items we need include patient beds, which should be here, exam beds. Now again, I'm going to start with 1 in the smaller rooms, and I probably will turn one of these into a pediatrics room. Whether or not that matters, I mean, it really doesn't. You don't really get to pick where your patients go, but it's still cute. And then I will put 2 in this room, just to make sure that we have plenty of beds for those patients. We also need the medical treadmills and the x-ray machines. Now I'm leaving move objects turned off in the hopes that I won't accidentally overlap, oh, that was the wrong one, overlap these to the point where they don't work, but again, playtesting. So there's our x-ray room. We also need a couple of chemical analyzers, which I'm just going to place right in here. And we need staff desks with computers, which I thought would be nice right in front of these windows. I also have a theory that if I place the slightly worse computers in here, and the slightly better computers in the upstairs break area, your coworkers will hopefully use those computers and leave you alone. That's my theory. Now another task that you have really frequently is to grab a snack or grab a coffee. So I am going to add a little break area down here, complete with the vending, no, that's not the vending fridge, this one. I'll probably go through and re-swatch all of these at some point to make everything match. That would be wise. Anyway, but you need a snack and you need a coffee, so we need to grab a microwave as well as a coffee machine. I'm also going to grab a sink and a dishwasher, and then I'll do the same setup upstairs as well. So hopefully, again, that'll keep coworkers out of your way so that you can do what you need to do to get through your day. Of course, we also need multiple bathrooms, and again, hopefully by using the same toilet, I guess we could use one of the better toilets that doesn't break so much. Hopefully by using the same toilet and same sink and same mirror in every one of the half bathrooms, we will avoid your Sims having competition. And this is where I have to turn on move objects because you can see I can't actually place the counter on the wall there, even though I should be able to because of the platform there. So bb.move objects. And now I can place the counter there. I didn't actually want the counter there, I want a fridge there, but still proves my point. Yeah, I'll definitely go through and actually make sure all these swatches match. Now upstairs I am going to add a shower and a gym area and test my theory of putting a couple of the good computers up here. So there's the staff area and there's a technically functioning hospital. Now let's make it look nice. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to pick a, oh, not that one I guess, that makes weird shadows. I'm just going to find a nice piece of art and then use that to sort of decorate the area around it. So maybe in the main office area we'll use some of these cool paintings, then use those same colors and sort of vibes to finish out the rest of the space. We're going to pretend that this says hospital or medical clinic or something like that. And just like that, it's a reception area. I had to change some wood tones to make things match a little bit, but that's okay. I think a little hospital dollhouse would be well placed. And if you wanted to use Parenthood, they have a cute little doctor toy that you could always put in here as well. I don't know if you ever actually bring like kids to the hospital or not, but I know that they can be patients, so it seems reasonable to make a little play area for them. Then we'll add some seating that nobody's going to use, for kicks and giggles, I suppose. Now, how much trouble do you think that would cause if I put a radio in here? I feel like I don't want to find out. I'm just going to leave this as the waiting room. Now for the surgery rooms, I'm terrified to put too much in here. I'll probably just like put a chair or something. A nice sterile blue chair. And I don't know if I need to put the bassinets in or not, so I guess I will. And we'll try and get a baby delivered here and see. Now see if we can find any relevant artwork so we can at least get something interesting in here. Also, I've had a lot of help with today's video, so if at any point it feels like I just walked away and came back and didn't quite seem to remember what I was doing, yes, that is exactly what is happening. None of these really scream childbirth to me. Maybe a nice motivational poster. Feels impossible, but it's not. You got this, or something like that. Oh, this one's cute. It's got a little baby. Okay, that'll work. X-ray room. These break a lot, so I think I'm pretty much just going to leave this room as is. Maybe put the X-ray thing on the wall, but we need to make sure we have lots of room to repair those. I think there's an X-ray thing. Yeah. They are all the exact same image though, so I guess I'll just leave it like that. Make these rooms nice, soothing colors. Maybe add some plants. You know what? Let's make this one quote-unquote for kids. Let's make this one cute. I think there's a little eye chart thingy. Yeah, this one. So we could put that in there. Maybe a triceratops eating the houseplant, as they're prone to do, you know. There we go. Just make it a little bit more cheerful. You can have this motivational poster. Is that a narwhal with hair? Fascinating. You can have this one. Very pretty. Okay. So there are patient rooms taken care of. I think that those look a little bit nicer now that there's some color in there. The testing room, I don't recall if there's any other equipment needed in here, but we can always make a little desk for note-taking and observation purposes. Actually, where's that skeleton? This guy. There. Add one extra analyzer. There's that sort of research center done. And now we just have to finish up the break room area. I do need to go through and actually match all these swatches. There we go. And is there anything else that your sim might need access to? I'm afraid to put in a TV for fun, just because we all know how difficult it is to get our sims away from those. Is this an end counter piece? I don't think so. Oh, maybe it was. Oh well. And I don't want to put in a stove because I don't want any fires to break out. But I guess at the very least, I could put some color on these walls as well. Maybe green? I don't know. Lockers for staff storage. I think I'm going to put a couch upstairs as well. I don't think patients will wander up here, but it'll give your sim some place to nap. Comfort 2, Comfort 2, Comfort 5. Oh, this one is focusing decor. I wonder if that would be helpful. Alright, we'll put this up here for your sims to take a little nap if they need to. Staff calendar. My favorite plant. Alright, so there's my hospital renovation so far. I think we should jump into live mode, make sure that everything is working, test all the equipment, run through a whole day as a doctor or whatever we are right now. Oh, and we'll also come back and have a baby. Lots of playtesting. This is quite the unique video. Alright, we need to greet some patients, greet coworkers, and grab a snack. So, what are you doing first? Buying a snack. Well, that's, I guess, a good thing to start with. So we should see, what's your name again? Alice. We should see Alice go either to this fridge or to the fridge upstairs. Oh, we need a door there. See, this is why we playtest. There we go. We should see her go purchase a snack. So we'll make sure that all of this is working. And that worked. Fantastic. Wash hands. I appreciate that it says wash hands to sterilize germs, but then there's no actual, like, sterilization option. I think that's interesting. Looks like the patients are automatically going to the beds, so that's good. And we're starting to get some more people coming in and checking in. Looks like they're just all lined up to greet the receptionist. I don't see any patients in this area yet, so we'll see if they spread out or not. Even if not, it's nice to have this at least for decoration. Oh, and we can check and see how our little pond is doing. So it looks like we get 3 ducks per placement, so that's cute. We have another bed, so let's make sure that the admit to bed works. Admit patient to exam bed. Also, who's with these kids? All these kids are coming in sick and there are no adults. I have concerns. Alright, looks like that works. Might want to scoot the bed away from the wall a little bit. That's fine, I can do that. Let's take temperature. I don't know if that counts as greeting or not, but we'll find out. Well, I'm not getting the option to greet these patients. We can treat patients. I don't know if that's an issue with the lot type or if that's an issue with me not knowing how to play this career. Alright, now we need to check out researching health reports and having a cup of coffee, make sure those things work. I think I will use the upstairs area for that, since we've already pretty much tested downstairs. Are you uncomfortable? Cold in the middle for microwaved food. Well, that's your own fault. Well, looks like the coffee works. And we can research health reports on medical journal, make sure that this computer is accessible. I don't see any reason why it shouldn't be, but you never know. Rats. Well, it looks like she's going to a completely different sink to wash her hands. I had her use the toilet upstairs, and now we are going to the exact same sink, but this bathroom. Because that makes sense. Alright, well, at the end of the workday, we'll force a pregnancy and see if we can't come in and make sure that these work, because I don't see any pregnant patients here. Alright, we're back home. Time to go back to the hospital. Let's do some pregnancy. Pregnancy start. Are you married to him? I don't know. Yes, okay. Pregnancy phase, pregnant in labor, and now we should be able to have baby at hospital. Join. Eric can come along. Congratulations, Eric. You didn't even know you're going to be a dad. Surprise. Alright, let's see how this goes. Let's go check in. Check in at front desk. There we go. Don't think... Alright, so I can't admit myself to these beds. To be fair though, I never have babies in the hospital, so who knows. Just wait for a second, I guess, see what happens. Looks like we're being admitted to the bed. Everything's working fine. And this is the smaller room, so if this one's working, this one will work. Looks like the little bassinet things do just sort of appear. Why are you putting mustard? So I didn't actually have to place one, but I'm gonna leave it anyway for looks. Also, the kid is being really, really loud, but that's how kids be. We have a little boy. His name will be Finn. Fantastic. Hello, small child. You look very, very old, and that concerns me. Well, this video was certainly all over the place, but I had a good time and we ended up with a hospital, so at the end of the day, 2 thumbs up, I guess. You of course can let me know by leaving a like if you choose to do so. If you thought this was fun, you're going to love the last time I rebuilt a lot, which was the pancakes home. I will link that in a card up here. Here's a video YouTube thinks that you will enjoy. Thank you so much for building with me today, and I look forward to building with you again very, very soon. Bye!